Mr. Levy, I was just about to...
Save it. What were you doing in there? Did you find what you were looking for, did you?
Actually, I was looking for you. As soon as I realized you were at home, I came straight out to find you. You can rest assured.
What is it you want, Mr. Conway?
Well, I wanted to talk with you about Charlotte May's disappearance.
Really?
If you're not too troubled to help.
Why the hell would I waste my time talking to you?
Will you answer some of my questions or not?
So it's an interrogation, then?
It's me asking you to help Tony Morgan find his missing daughter. Surely you want to help.
Fine. I'll humor you. What do you want?
A statement is all. Where you were the night that Charlotte May was taken. What you were doing, with whom you spoke. That kind of thing.
A statement, you say? Where do you want me to begin?
Tell me, if you would, what you did between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. just before Charlotte May was taken.
Well, I was in my flat for most of the night, except for about 10 o'clock. I went across to the courtyard and locked up the front gate. And, you know, to keep the wrong kind of person there. Sometime after that, I heard a noise. Sounded like something strange, but I didn't know what. I guess we all know now, but didn't think much of it at the time.
Toll, abgesperrt, falls so ein Menschgeräusch. Ich kann jetzt nicht auf meine Beweise zugreifen, gerade eben. Dieses Thema habe ich noch nicht ganz durchstiegen. Ich würde auf das Geräusch erstmal gehen, um zu wissen, was er da gehört hat.
You're sure you heard a noise at 10 p.m., no later?
A little later, maybe. I was up in my flat by then.
How much later?
Couldn't say.
And what do you think the noise was?
Well, we know what it was, Mr. Conway. A little girl screaming.
You actually heard her scream?
Maybe. Why? You try to catch me out?
I'm trying to understand what you're telling me. I myself did not hear her, and neither did the McKees.
What's your point?
Well, either you heard her and did nothing, or you're mistaken.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of something else then.
You were saying...
War das oder was anderes? Toll.
Anyway,
Toller Zeuge.
after about 10 or something, I went up to my flat and made a cup of tea and a sandwich. Corned beef and onion, if I remember. Then about 10:15, I ate it. I hope this is the kind of information you were looking for. I was alone all night, so didn't do anything riveting, I'm sorry to say.
Das allein würde ich auf jeden Fall.
You were alone all night, so no one can back up your story.
No, guess not.
Do you ever have guests, Mr. Levy?
No, not really.
Never.
Where are you going with this?
Well, there's a key on the plant pot outside your door. You must have put it there for someone.
And how did you find that out?
Well, you can see it from the outside. It's plain as day.
I said I was alone that night. You don't believe me?
I'm merely trying to make sense of it all.
Seems simple enough to me, Mr. Conway. Shall I continue? Or was there more?
Please.
Anyway, around about 10:30, I was sat upstairs listening to my radio show. Kings in the Nile. Well, I had no idea what was going on outside, right under everyone's noses. Scary, ain't it? How you could be stood right next to someone capable of that. And you'd never know until it was too late.
Macht eher Angst, dass er gerade sein Werkzeug hat und ich weiß nicht, ob er uns damit ein bisschen einschüchtern will.
It's disturbing, isn't it? Knowing what happened, and so close to your home at that.
Yeah, very disturbing.
You don't seem very affected by it. You'll forgive me for saying.
Will I? What are you saying? That I did it? That I'm capable of doing it because I ain't all broken up on the outside.
I think it's strange when people don't act the way that others expect they will. It makes people feel uneasy.
Am I making you feel uneasy now?
I think that it would be nice to know where you stand on what happened to Mr. Morgan and Charlotte May.
I did time as a young lad. I seen some stuff that'd make you crawl up into a little ball and stay there. So boo-hoo if some guy got a little knock over the head. It's a shame about that girl. It really is. But I've seen worse.
That may be so, but it doesn't excuse the way you act around others. I've seen things too. Horrific things.
Like what?
Well, as a private investigator...
You know what? Forget it. I don't care. Shall I carry on now?
Please, do.
I wish there was more I could tell you. I really do. Must have been about 10:40 to 10:50. I nodded off for a bit, because my mind's a little fuzzy on the details. The newspaper said something about the kidnapper having a key or sneaking in undetected. I think it's a load of old bollocks. And in any case, if I ever did see someone sneaking around here, they wouldn't be walking out, I can tell you. No offense.
Wie hältst du denn gerade dieses... hat er sich nicht gerade damit selber erstochen, wie er gerade das hält? Oder hat er es unter den Arm geklemmt? Zeitung eingenägt, ich Schlüssel.
I'm curious. How could the kidnapper have come to be in the possession of a key?
Now, I've been thinking about that, and there's a lot of ways someone could have got around it, if they were so inclined.
Please, elaborate.
They could have stolen a key. Maybe they did it before and then locked the gate. Maybe they got a key copied weeks ago and then returned the original.
You have put a lot of thought into that, haven't you?
I've known some types in my time. You'd be amazed how resourceful some folk can be.
Resourceful, deceitful. It's a fine line to tread.
No disagreement there.
Right. Well, please, continue.
Regardless of all that, I'll tell you what I did here that night. The smash. About 11, I'd say. That little girl must have kicked up a right old fuss. God knows how we didn't hear. That's when I turned on my floodlight. Looked out my window, I saw Mr. Morgan. Right there, laying in a puddle of his own blood. It's a wonder he didn't bleed out. I must have just missed who did it. I tell you, that blood ain't coming out my clothes anytime soon.
You're sure it was Charlotte May who caused the smash?
Who else would it have been?
And you're sure it was at 11?
About then, yeah.
It's a long time after the first noise at 10, wouldn't you say? Almost an hour by your account.
Yeah, I suppose.
Doesn't it seem a little strange to you?
All of this is strange to me, Mr. Conway. This is Dahlia View. Things like this don't happen here.
Until now.
Until now. Other than that, I don't know what more I can say. We all get what's coming to us, don't we? Anyhow, what if it was me? What are you going to do about it?
Well, for a start, I would have...
Maybe I did do it. Hell, maybe you did it. You could be wasting time questioning me to cover your own back. That would be a funny old turn, wouldn't it?
I have to say, Mr. Levy, we've not spoken this much before, and I find you strangely heartless considering the circumstances. I'd imagined you'd feel a little more sympathy for your neighbor and his missing daughter. You say you had nothing to do with it, but I can't help but think...
Go on. Mit den Füßen wegtreten, toll.
I think you're hiding something. Something to do with Charlotte May. And when this is all said and done, Mr. Morgan will know who helped and who stood in the way of my investigation. I hope to God you had nothing to do with it.
Listen to me.
Der zieht kurz
You
und
think you
weg.
got problems now being in that chair. You keep this kind of thing up, you're gonna end up hurt. Or worse.
Is that a threat, Mr. Levy?
A warning's what it is.
Well, consider me warned.
It's late, Mr. Conway. Piss off.
Pisser. So ein Arschloch, ey. Ja, wir sind penetrant, aber trotzdem hat mich so umzugehen. War es jetzt die bestmögliche Variante bei der Befragung? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Aber schon interessant. Und wie ich es vermutet hatte, er hatte irgendwas mit dem Frank zu tun. Das werden wir wahrscheinlich jetzt am Pinboard oder Pinwand, um Himmels Willen, rausfinden, hoffe ich mal.
During our conversation, Harold Levy was imposing, attempting to intimidate me. It's clear the man does not like me, and the feeling is mutual. I'm certain he's up to no good, and I suspect it has something to do with Charlotte May. The chemicals I found appear to match the crime scene, no question there. There are, however, some things that still remain unanswered.
Okay, auf jeden Fall angebissenes Essen und alles Mögliche. Du musst dich ein bisschen gesünder ernähren, alter Mann. Sonst fehlen dir bald die Kräfte, überall rumzufahren und durch alle Bereiche zu gehen. Nun gut, dann schauen wir uns mal an. Was haben wir denn hier? Wir haben
A
einmal...
threatening note in Harold Levy's flat seemed to provoke his attack on Tony Morgan. Is this related to Charlotte May? The note accused Harold of illegal activities, but what evidence here proves it?
Illegale Aktivitäten und das zweite.
Harold said he was listening to Kings of the Nile in his flat at 10:50, whilst Charlotte May was being taken. But can I disprove his alibi?
Okay. Bei jedem sind 3 Sachen. Was haben wir zur Auswahl? Irgendwann haben wir die... Genau, das wird auf jeden Fall wichtig sein. Nehmen wir das schon mal mit. Und zwar wird das hier... Was war... In welcher Zeit? 2050 irgendwie Königin des Nils. Da wird mal reinzoomen. Hier. 2050 wäre es gekommen, zugegebenermaßen. Aber er hatte gesagt, dass das Radio kaputt ist. Das würde es zumindest erstmal bestätigen. So, dann haben wir hier, das ist bestimmt mit dem Radio, nehme ich an. Kontext. So, was gibt es hier noch? Was war das gewesen? Arbeiten ausgeführt. Ist auf dem Kanal hängen geblieben. Das wäre interessant. Was ist das nochmal? Das ist das. Steht hier vielleicht noch was in der Zeitung Interessantes? Nee, dann wird wahrscheinlich das noch wichtig sein. Hab ich das Richtige genommen? Nee, das ist das Falsche genommen. Didim. Der Zettel muss woanders hin. Und hier nehmen wir... So, gucken wir mal.
There must be some small detail I'm missing on some of the evidence.
Okay, dann gucken wir nochmal durch. Kann ich belegen, dass sich Harold um 2250 Königin des Nils angehört hat. Wir haben hier Zigaretten, Geld, Lippenstift. Ach hier, genau. Es ist auf 96 gestellt. Es kommt auf 105.
That's right.
Ah,
I'm onto something.
Mist.
Now to piece together the rest of it.
Ich war dieser Blutfleck oder was immer das ist, da war ich ein bisschen irritiert. Hier, dieses Ding. Okay, aber ich habe nicht gesehen, dass man hier das auswählen kann. Ja, ich muss zugeben, diese Auswahl von Objekten hier, manchmal sieht man das nicht sofort. Okay, dann haben wir das gelöst. So. Jetzt muss man nachweisen, dass da irgendwas Komisches abgeht. So, was war das nochmal? Das war der Garage. So, was haben wir denn da alles noch? Wir haben hier diesen Brief. Ich weiß, was du treibst. Okay, also der wird auf jeden Fall wichtig sein. Hier würde ich mal mitgehen und zwar einfach bei dem... Hier mal ganz genau drauf gucken. Hier. Lokaler Verbrechen. Ah, ist die Frage, was wollen Sie hinaus? Also wollen Sie mit diesen... warte mal.
A threatening note in Harold Levy's flat seemed to provoke his attack on Tony Morgan. Is this related to Charlotte May? The note accused Harold of illegal activities, but what evidence here proves it?
Okay. Also es gibt eine Verbindung mit Morgan, okay. Dann haben wir hier lokale Verbrechen. Da sind... Es ist blöd, dieses Bewegen hier von Items irgendwie. Manchmal geht das ganz gut. Ja. Okay, da brauchen wir garantiert das Bild des Autos noch. Hier ist es. Also, was haben wir hier? Wir haben 3 Autos. Wir haben den grünen, einen gelben und einen roten. Wir sehen die Nummernschilder einigermaßen. Belastendes Foto. Einer von diesen Wagen ist wichtig. So, ist hier irgendein Wagen? Also hier haben wir einen gelben Sparrow Carnival. Mit einer roten Tür kennen wir nicht. Einen braunen Double Runner Van. Mit Adler. Vielleicht das Three-Wheeler Yellow Sparrow Carnival. Ich kenne mich mit Autos null aus. Das ist wirklich... Ach, hier, guckt hier, das Ding vielleicht. Mit einem Adler drauf. Gucken wir mal. War das nicht hier irgendwo? Hier. Brown KP Double Runner Van. Genau. Braun. Boah. Ist eigentlich gelblich. Gelbbraun, zählt das als Farbe? Vielleicht. Und hier. Das war das Auto von was Theodor genutzt hat. Und was ist hier? Brown Van. Gucken wir mal, ob es der braune wird hier alles. Perfekt. Seht ihr? So geht's.
So, Harold lied to me about his alibi. There was no way he could have been listening to Kings of the Nile on his broken radio. The stolen cars are worrying indeed, but don't seem to be related to Charlotte May. The chloroform-like chemical I found is my only real lead. He must have hidden those bottles for a reason. Ultimately, this is all conjecture. I can't prove he's taken Charlotte May.
Okay. Das lief deutlich besser als die erste. Tochter? Da ist schon wieder verschlossen. Ich kann mich noch nicht bewegen. Kann ich vielleicht mal das zuziehen hier? Oh Gott, ich krieg bestimmt gleich Anschiss von.
Dad?
Kann ich es
Why is the
zuziehen?
door locked? Can you let me in, please? I want to talk to you about something.
Sorry. Give me a moment.
Dad, I'm waiting.
Ja, ja. Ich muss mal ranrollen.
Why was the bolt on?
Well, what with everything, one can't be too careful.
Fair enough.
What did you want to talk about?
I've just come back from having a very interesting conversation with your landlord.
Harold Levy. Really?
What do you suppose he wanted to talk to me about?
Well, actually, Catherine, I wanted to talk to you about that.
So he was telling the truth. You know, he was so close to pressing charges, and it's not my job to talk him out of it. I could have been arresting you right now, or any one of my colleagues, whom I can assure you would not be as nice as me about it.
Why? He seemed fine after I spoke to
You
him.
trespassed and damaged his property, and don't try to talk your way out of it.
Well, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, to be honest.
Why do you think he didn't press charges? The reason he didn't want the police searching in the first place was because he was hiding what basically amounts to chloroform. The same thing he used to drug Charlotte May. He had a gallon of the stuff.
I know.
Well, so why don't you arrest him?
It's a completely different brand.
Well, have you checked his orders? He might have switched recently.
I have.
Then why does he have chloroform in the first place?
He uses it to dilute oils. It's a side scam to rip off his customers. You would have known that if you were working on the case, but you're not.
Well, diluting goods is illegal too, surely. Arrest him for that, and you can interrogate him.
And all he'd get is a fine. And that would be the end of it.
I'm sorry, but...
You're not an investigator anymore, Dad. I know you want to help, but trust me, you're not. In fact, you're making my job that much harder.
Catherine, I was merely trying
You made me a promise. From now on, I just want you to honor it.
I can't.
Why not?
I promised Tony Morgan that I would help find Charlotte May.
Of course you did.
Unsere Pinnwand ist auch nur zur Hälfte gefüllt. Deswegen wissen wir, wir haben noch mindestens 2 Orte, die wir länger aufsuchen werden. Interessant, dass wir diese Affäre noch gar nicht an der Pinnwand näher beleuchtet haben. Aber da wir jetzt die Hinweise haben mit diesem Haar, diesen Ohrring, das verdichtet sich zumindest, dass es eine Möglichkeit besteht.
Thankfully, Harold Levy didn't press charges against me. He probably didn't want the police searching any more than they had to. It confirms my suspicion that Harold is up to no good, but I can't convince Catherine to investigate further.
So, die Villa oder daneben
Am I
der Pub?
wasting my time watching my neighbors? Mrs. Dower is old and frail. Is she even capable of such a thing as attacking a man and taking his child?
Was macht sie denn dort? Legt sie was hin für Katzen, oder?
I made Mr. Morgan an impossible promise, but if I stopped now, it was all for nothing.
Oh, Buntglas sogar, der Familienname. Villa Dor. Kann ich sie nicht Dor nennen? Dorfleisch, so wie sie aussieht schon? Entschuldigung. So, wir müssen mal wieder zoomen und Fotos machen. Was hat sie denn da hingelegt eigentlich? Irgendwas Glänzendes. So, wo ist dieses... Die Villa sieht oben nicht sehr toll aus. Da ist ein Gemälde. Erstmal gucken, wo haben wir denn? Kriegen wir was ran? Da ist ein Ball.
There's that bullet.
Wie kommen wir eigentlich auf diesen Balkon? Ich meine, was ist denn das für ein komisches Ding, wenn es keine Tür gibt? Das ist ja wunderbar. So, der Eingang.
Mrs. Doer's home once looked out onto a field of dahlia flowers. Her husband built the manor house with shipping company money.
Reederei.
Now it's surrounded by all of this.
Okay, da ist irgendwas.
Mrs. Doer's bedroom.
Was? Das siehst du von hier.
That big house all to herself, and she only lives in one room. How age punishes us.
Das ist traurig, das stimmt. Großes Haus alleine leben. Wenn man halt keine Verwandtschaft hat.
There's a light on downstairs. Mrs. Doer is still awake. And here I am, spying on an elderly lady.
Die umher streift. Irgendwo klingelt's. Sie ist nur ein Zimmer, also dort unten wahrscheinlich. Was hat sie da hingelegt? Ach, Milchflaschen, jetzt sehe ich's. Ach, okay. Hingestellt. Da ist er. Was machst du? Irgendeine Diele rausreißen? Das sind Kindersachen. Das ist ein Messer. Sie öffnet die Diele.
Now this is interesting. What is she doing under there? It looks like she's hiding something.
Vielleicht ist sie aber nur alt und verwirrt.
That floorboard is my first port of call.
Gucken wir nochmal, ob sonst irgendwas passiert. Nein. Eine Puppe. Oh Gott. Sie versteckt vielleicht Sachen. Sie später dran zu erinnern, aber am Verstecken dann. Oh, ihre Füße sehen auch nicht gut aus. Eieieiei. Die alte Dame. Oh Gott, diese Füße. Bei alten Leuten. Mal gucken, ob drüben irgendwas ist. Da ist irgendwas.
So this is the police's base of operations. By the sounds of it, they've forgotten all about Charlotte May.
Ich höre hier irgendwas.
Her poster is already in the gutter. Am I the only one looking for Charlotte May?
Nein. Muss man nicht so darstellen. So, gibt's noch irgendwas? Ach, Billardtisch, deswegen hat er es gesagt. Sehe ich hier sonst noch was in der Höhe? Nee. Da unten. Licht im Keller.
What could she be doing in the basement? And how did she get down there? This is getting stranger by the minute.
Naja, eine Treppe. Ihr Haus, sie kann sich da frei bewegen, auch wenn sie alt ist. Ist jetzt... Wo passiert als nächstes was? Irgendwie Blaulicht.
I wonder if that's anything to do with Charlotte May. Perhaps I should leave it to them.
Okay, damit ist unser Blick einmal abgelenkt worden. Gucken zurück und sehen sie irgendwo? Nein. Klingt nach einem Auto, oder? Was ist der nächste Ankerpunkt? Wir müssen ja immer irgendeinen Punkt finden, wo irgendwas passiert, damit wir hier weiterkommen. Ich glaube, wir können nichts verpassen. Es ist wirklich so interaktiv. Ach, guck an, da oben. Was ist da? Licht ist an.
I'd give anything to know what's in that box. Maybe it has something to do with what was hidden under the floorboard. That's my second port of call.
Da wird sie hier rübergehen zu dem großen Gemälde.
Now she seems to be doing something.
Jetzt macht sie irgendwas. Ja, ich wollte sagen, für uns die...
That's not her at all.
Die Handschuhe
Mrs.
sahen
Doe
anders
is in
aus.
danger. Unless they're working together.
Der Kapuzenmann.
I need to get a photograph of the intruder.
Der Kapuzenmann hat die Kapuze an. Und geht an die alte Dame ran. Da. Er ging hoch, hat die Lampe abgestellt.
Dear God, I've got you red-handed. You there! Stop what you're doing at once! I said stop! You won't get away with this.
Die Person ist schnell. Sie rennt auch nicht in irgendwo in ein Gebäude rein, sie rennt weiter weg. Also nicht offensichtlich, dass man irgendwo reingeht. So, haben wir die alte Dame damit gemerkt? Da steht die Lampe und die Figur hat irgendwas dort oben gemacht. Aber finde ich gut, dass er laut geschrien hat, aber die Figur hätte ihn noch angucken können und auf ihn zeigen, so wie You're next. Ist aber nicht dazu gekommen.